I'm working on a 2005 Toyota Highlander. It's a limited version. I'm already halfway through the job, so I'm just gonna show you kind of the way I've been troubleshooting the press work for this. I have this setup going. This standard press fitting works that comes with the press from Harbor Freight, and so I have some metal on the bottom, 2x4, two 2x4s, and I tried to set this up the best on these torque head bolts, and it just barely fits in there. Back here, and on the tie rod mount, more space there than there is there. But this is how you press the hub out. Let it drop down in there. This is what I found that works for pushing out the hub. Alright, now you got the hub pressed out. Now get this ring out. Just kind of pry it up from here. There you go. Alrighty. Be very careful with these types of clips. I had one. I was hammering around on it to make sure it would move, and to try to free it up, just like this, and the top of it snapped off. So you do just want to see, you just want to light tap and make sure the snap ring's moving before you try anything with the pliers. Alright, so I got this sitting up here just on some wood and metal, and then I have this piece that measures 2 inches, 870, just something around there that fits down on just the bearing and not the snap ring. And it's not going to be a lot. It's just going to be, I'm even just going to do this by hand. One little push down to try to push that bearing down and make a little bit of relief on that snap ring so it'll spin easily. Alright, so I got it wedged in there. Now, okay. Alright, so I got it close to the top, and now my pick tool is helping me. There we go. Okay. So this side is still in, but now this side is raised above the groove, and you should be able to just turn your flathead around it and slowly work that snap ring out. Boom. Alright, I have two 2x4s and a 3/4 thick piece of steel, and along with this Harbor Freight, and that's on a flat surface there, decently supported, and hopefully this bearing will press right out. I'm using the same piece of steel from earlier, probably like a 1/2 inch thick, I don't know, and just make sure everything is as centered as possible in this axis and this axis. Exploded just like that. So what I like to do, take it away, you just take out all this stuff, and then there will be a lip on the inner race. Well, I guess that's technically the outer race, and this fitting will still fit there. I'll have to take that ring off, and it should press out. Alrighty, now when that bearing comes down and ends up flat, I mean there's not clearance for it, so you need to readjust this right here, and I'll show you how. So this is what I got that, and that's not supported, but as long as you're not getting a bunch of resistance from the bearing, it'll be okay. You can see the bearing is coming out. I'll set this here. So I don't feel very much resistance from the press. I'm not too worried about bending this right here. Just you want to take your time with this press work, and just be careful when it pops out. Everything's unsteady. So yeah. Valvoline grease. NLDI number 2. Not too much, but there's more than none. And the same on here. Alright, I got the bearing greased up. Everything's sitting level. I have a sleeve here, a press sleeve, and then the old bearing race and this, just to make sure there's clearance in between the top plate and this. And then you want to press the bearing down to square. Alright, so you'll hear it. It'll keep pressing down. Make sure you're clearing everything. Okay, right there, I feel the press load up. And it's harder to pull now. So, the bearing seated there. When you look at it this way, the groove is exposed for the snap ring. Put back on the dust cover the correct way. I'm gonna put those T-bits back. Put a little anti-seize on here too. Now before I put the snap ring back in here, it's important you have complete support on all the inner and outer race, the whole surface of the bearing. And I'm gonna set it up something like this. So this is how I'm gonna do this to press the hub back in. Before I put the snap ring in, I have this plate set to locate on the whole surface of the bearing to support it so the inner race doesn't push out and ruin your new bearing. And from there, all right, now putting this back in, you should be able just to get it by hand here. There we go. I don't know if you saw what I did there, but